It's coming. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be across this beautiful blue-green globe of ours. Welcome to Real News Live. It is a Toxically Masculine Tuesday, and I'm your host, Mike Barrett, in Las Vegas, Nevada, joined as I always am by the usual crew. By the way, I'm drinking a little Crab Cat whiskey and Crab Cat whiskey and or it's bourbon technically.
You actually cracked the bottle. Isn't that like a collector's item?
No, that's the one I'm keeping. The other one is cracked.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. So, yes, Crab Cat whiskey. Good stuff tonight. And anyway, I'm joined as I always am by the usual crew, starting with the man on my stage left or right. Stage left. Hollywood Squares right. Dr. Brooks Agnew somewhere in the Carolina. Brooks, how you doing? How's the car coming along? How's the RX-7?
Going pretty well. I worked on it all day today. So I got the rear brakes rebuilt and a lot of the interior wiring done. We're now starting to put our head together how we're going to build the dashboard. I think we're going to wait till the digital instruments come in before we get serious about it. But just heard it rumble one time today. Had to do it.
Okay, all right. Monty, bro, it's beautiful blue-green globe.
Yeah.
Not a flashlight. A beautiful blue-green globe. All right, the man directly below Brooks in the Hollywood Squares arrangement, the owner of the finest strip club in Nashville, Tennessee, TV's Blake Wally. Blake, how you doing? The girls are going to be there a little bit later, right? I see the stage back there. Did you sanitize the pole? That's what I need to ask.
Yeah, we sanitize it every night to get rid of all the snail trails from the night before.
Oh.
It's really great. We call it colloquially in the industry.
Trails.
But yeah, it's great to be here. The girls will be in probably in a couple of hours. It's still early, although it's Tuesday. But it's going to be it's a sad day in Nashville, obviously. I'm assuming we'll get to that part.
Yes.
Speaking of which,
we will
put up a little something special on the back of my club. Yes,
yeah.
we changed out one of the portraits. In memory.
There she is.
In all her glory.
Yeah, Dolly Parton.
I can't see whatever it is that you're putting up on the screen.
Oh, the portrait right behind me. We
portrait
changed
behind
it out on the wall.
It's Dolly Parton. That's going to be one of the first stories. Maybe we'll just make it the first story. And of course, the man in the Hollywood Squares arrangement who is stage right of Blake, stage left of, I don't know, Steve Doran, the trail boss, somewhere in nowhere Fuckville, Arkansas. Steve, how are you doing and what's up with you?
I'm doing really good. I was on the road all day today, so I'm actually a little exhausted. I had to leave at 6 this morning and I got back right before the show. So hopefully Mike won't put me to sleep or I'm falling asleep during the program. He's got something exciting for us tonight.
Oh, fuck you. There's so much exciting I can't even talk about it, but I do think we're going to get right to it. I'm just looking for it. Yeah, I'm going to get to it here straight away. If you didn't hear the news, I guess it was earlier today, it was announced that famous country music singer Dolly Parton has passed away at the age of 80. And Dolly, of course, is known for her gigantic tits, which everybody assumes were fake. I don't know if that's true, but, I don't know. We'll have to ask that question.
They were not fake. I can tell you.
Not fake.
They were not.
How would you know that, Steve?
When she appeared at Pine Knob and I was assigned to her protection detail as a young deputy, and this was way before women were getting boob jobs, and they were totally real. And when she hugged me and thanked me for providing her with security. They were not fake.
So that's awesome.
Yeah.
She had these gigantic knockers and she shared them with the world. She gave hugs. So that's really awesome when you think about it. That's really awesome. So rest in peace, Dolly Parton.
Well, she had her dark side. She wanted everything done perfectly, and if it wasn't done perfectly, she wasn't happy.
It's like, people like Elton John are like that too. They're complete bitches. They just really, everything's got to be perfect. And
Well, Dollywood is amazing.
yeah, but the flags are going to be at half mast for I think a week, maybe a month. I don't know. Trump did that already, and there are people who do say there's people like looking at some hand gestures she made and I forget one of them. I think this is love and sign language, and this is the devil. And they got a picture of her doing this one. Oh, she's a devil worshiper. But people will make this and just kind of casually do that without knowing the difference, right? So it's not.
It's rock and roll.
Look,
it's a rock and roll symbol. Yeah.
Yeah.
rock and roll.
You have to be realistic. We all know what the symbol for love is on Toxically Masculine Tuesday.
Love you too, guys. Hang on to this for me, will you, Steve? Okay, so.
Oh wait, I got mine right here.
So I do, but I don't want to bring this up because there's also a reality. She was a big time pharma vax whore. She really was, and she pushed the vax. She made a big deal out of it. She told people that they should go get it. And, it's less than 5 years later and she's passed away and we do not know why. And
I would bet the ranch that it wasn't she didn't get the shot.
You don't think she actually got the shot? Why do you think that?
Because those people are so isolated that, they really don't deal with the general public per se. And especially at her age, she wasn't doing a lot of concerts. She was doing some outdoor appearances after COVID was over. And, they talk a good line, but actually getting the jab, they didn't do it.
Yeah. Nobody at the CDC got it. They talked about it all the time.
Nobody at the CDC got it. Well, I've been in.
The only ones that you can say got it. There were people who got it on camera, and those were the people who died within a matter of weeks.
Yeah. I've been in some Twitter flame wars with some pharma whores this last week. A couple of other people. One of them is this guy Alex Bogey. Don't go follow him. He's desperate for attention, and I think he finally got some attention this week by actually having where are my settings? By actually having some engagement around this, because he's been saying all this stuff about how safe the vaccines are, and on top of that, how unsafe ivermectin and Fenben are. You weren't afraid of. Here's the post from him, just an example of what's been going on the last week, and so the pharma whores have been in full force ever since President Trump signed the new vaccine schedule for children, which only includes 11 vaccines, not the previous 72. But you weren't afraid of a virus that killed 1.2 million Americans, but you're terrified of a vaccine for which the CDC and the FDA identified 9 causally attributed deaths. Okay, so this is the logic of these insane fucktards that you're dealing with, Brooks. We'll deal with this in a second. This is their logic. The government, which is making bank on the vaccines and making bank on COVID, all the different tests, all this stuff, basically they say only 9 people for sure died from the vaccine. And they ignore theirs, which of course the death rate skyrocketed in 2021 because, it's a voluntary system, Brooks. So obviously it can't be relied on. And there's silly reports in there. Well, what happened was a bunch of pharma whores like this guy went in and started filing false VAERS reports, claiming stuff like, he died from a butt sex with a goat or something to taint the VAERS database. But the reality is that whatever the VAERS death rate is, and it's skyrocketed in 2021 when they introduced the vaccines. They actually, they're probably only 10% of the actual deaths that took place that are attributed. So it's like you expect to trust the same people who made billions, if not trillions, off the vaccine. People who are profiting from it. Oh, well, they're gonna be so reliable in terms of the information they put out about the side effects. I mean, is this not just absolutely ridiculous, Brooks?
Well, yeah, I mean, the VAERS reports are not very reliable. You're exactly right. But the people that are doing the autopsies on the dead, now this is expensive to do, so they have to raise money in order to do these. But they found that 73% of the bodies that they examined had the clots in their system. And the clots can be attributed to the cause of death. And these deaths occur between 17 and 70. So it's a broad range of ages that it occurs. And they estimate some 3,000 people a day are dying from side effects from the vaccine and the boosters. 3,000 people a day is 1 million people a year.
So they're going to continue to die. Dolly Parton, maybe she took the vax, maybe she didn't. She said she did, so she's in that situation.
80 is a good age.
But then, Steve, we got the same people that I'm arguing with are telling me, well, these people were saved by the vaccine. And let me just tell you something, just for a fact, okay? Nobody has ever had their life saved by a vaccine. No one, ever. You know why? Because everybody who's ever had a vaccine has died. Everyone has died or will die. So you're not saving any lives with these vaccines, nor is there any evidence you are extending anyone's life with vaccines.
When you look at the news, and back during, all these kids, in order to play high school sports, had to get the vaccine. How many thousands of children across the country got the vaccine and with days, usually on the bus or just before they're supposed to leave for a sporting event, died?
Yeah.
They were in perfect health, but it didn't kill them. The vaccine.
How about professional athletes? These people are in the peak of physical condition. 1,582 collapsed during a game, and 1,100 of them died.
Yeah, and we can show the video. And here's the opposite point of this, which is that I can show you lots of people who died because of the vaccine and because of pharma whores like you, Alex Bogue. Here's the story of a young woman, Dazelle Peters. She was denied a life-saving double lung transplant, not because she wasn't a candidate, but because she had not received the COVID vaccine. She was diagnosed with leukemia as a child. She had a double bone marrow transplant, and she died. So you can go on and on and on. And these two douchebags, Dr. Neil Stone and Alex Bogue. I'm not even sure this one isn't just a bot account. When I posted them that it was total crickets, absolutely total crickets. They also continue to say shit like ivermectin and fenbendazole do not treat or cure cancer. Well, you know what? I think, Steve, you got a story about that, right? You have a dog there who you've been treating with ivermectin. Why don't you tell us that story?
Okay, I got a Rhodesian Ridgeback, and I got him because he has had some major health problems. So he's had multiple surgeries. It's cost thousands of dollars to have these surgeries done. And I think it's been about 2 weeks ago, he got another cancerous tumor on the back of his neck. And he's a young dog. He's like 3 years old. So I was like, before I take him in, I'm going to try to give him ivermectin. Mm-hmm. After 4 pills, 4 days, the tumor was gone. His neck, where the tumor was, opened up a little bit, is the best way I can explain it. And all this gook drained out of his neck. And other than a little scab on his neck, it's completely gone.
And the the thing is, these pharma whores will tell you that this pharmaceutical product doesn't work, and that ivermectin. In fact, you have a story right there, Steve. You didn't treat him with anything else. Nothing. Right?
Well, I mean, his
tumor's gone in just a couple of days.
Yeah.
That's absolutely amazing. And there are story.
But I started the treatment as soon as I saw the lump. I started the treatment. Where before it was back and forth to the doctor, back and forth to the doctor. Okay, we're going to try to drain it. Okay, we're going to do surgery. Blah, 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 blah. This time I saw the lump, started giving him the ivermectin. Boom, gone.
So, the reality is these are two of the most effective drugs out there. Brooks, I first got a hold of ivermectin when we did that conference in Sholo about 5 years ago. And I had just had the worst flu I've ever had in I can remember. I mean, even though I only puked one day, I had that flu for a week. I felt like dog shit. And a week or two later, we went to this conference and you started mentioning that you were selling ivermectin, and I got it from you. And look, I haven't had a cold or the flu since. And it's been 5 years. Every time I get a little bit of a symptom, I take the pills. Within 24 to 36 hours, the symptoms are gone, and I never, ever contract the virus. I can tell you 100% it works on viruses. It kills them. Now, I've had a couple sinus infections, but that's different. Brooks, go ahead.
Well, we're getting close to 90,000 customers now. We've been providing this for almost 6 years now, just short of, in September, it'll be 6 years. And you wouldn't believe the mail that I get. Prostate cancer, leukemia, lung cancer, brain cancer, prostate cancer, breast cancer, cervical cancer. It's unbelievable how many cures I have letters from.
Well, I also know it works on prostate cancer because my neighbor had prostate cancer. They wanted to remove his prostate. And he said, give me some time. I want to see if I can do it naturally. He took ivermectin. He went back for a treatment, not a treatment, but to have it checked. I think it was 3 months. It might have been 4 months. And it was completely gone.
I hear that all the time.
I've seen it work on humans as well.
See, the thing is, a lot of cancers act like parasites. They're intracellular. Some are called turbo cancers, and doctors don't know how to treat it. I mean, they just try to treat you with chemo or radiation or surgery or whatever. And ivermectin has turned out to be this amazing miracle drug. For one thing, it's a fantastic anti-inflammatory. So a lot of these autoimmune diseases are caused by internal inflammation. I take ivermectin every single day. I'm a cancer survivor myself. It's been 12 years since I had cancer.
I don't know if my friend Chris Iverson is watching his show, but Chris, I don't know if you've tried these protocols, but let's get you on it and see if that doesn't help your situation too. But
there's a book that I provide on my website. It says ivermectin and fenbendazole practical. Just scroll down a little. There it is right there. That is the top selling book in the genre. Number one seller. I don't make a dime on it. I just provide it for people. And this book gives you all kinds of protocols for all kinds of different things. Most people just do the ivermectin, but it really gets effective when you do ivermectin and fenbendazole together. Mm-hmm. It's quite unbelievable what these antiparasitics do. Turns out they attack the same protein that cancer cells use to multiply uncontrollably. That's how they metastasize and go everywhere and kill you, get in your nerves and your spine and everything like that, your bones. Ivermectin disrupts that reproductive cycle, and the cancer just grows old and dies.
All right. And so, these people that tell you not to try this stuff,
they're vaxxed.
They're vaxxed and they're going to die young. And, it may be a few, and I'll bet you none of them have had all the boosters they're supposed to have. None of them.
Well, and
Alex Pogue
and medical professionals make their money
off drugs,
not curing you, just basically giving you medication, doing whatever to keep you alive. Because the longer they keep you alive but sick, the more money they make. I mean, I
Sure.
look at my medical bills from my situation, and they're in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they didn't do shit. They didn't do anything.
Yep, exactly. And for $80, Brooks, you can get ivermectin. For another 60 or $80, you can get Fenben and Menben to go with it.
Less than $1 a tablet. And
The
I will tell
only
you
thing that ivermectin absolutely will not cure is a woman's love for Blake Wally.
That's true.
It ain't gonna happen.
that anything
ain't
can
gonna
happen. They will fall in
we
love
kinda
no matter what.
We've
Yeah.
kind of left Blake out of this conversation so far, and
It's all good.
but I wanted to say just to these pharma whores, Dr. Neil Stone and Alex Bogue and people like you, I hate you with every fiber of my existence because you are actively trying to suppress, either for your own personal profit or simply because you want to be right and think you're smarter than everybody else. You are actively trying to stop people from taking treatments that will actually save their lives. And your fucking vaccines don't save lives, they destroy lives.
Oh, by the way,
President
what
Trump-
medicine are you taking tonight, Blake Wally?
Oh, I'm actually drinking a little apple moonshine from Steve, the Trail
Wow.
Boss. I
All
can't
right.
quite tell what the label is. It is Steve
Yeah.
on the deck.
All right.
Maybe you can give me a
The
little more
right container,
backstory to
a
it.
wide mouth
Good
jar.
stuff.
So,
Yep. I poured it before the show because I didn't know if I'd spill it on camera.
Blake,
Yeah.
Blake, have you got any? I mean, I assume
Yeah.
you've got some ivermectin. Do you have any stories that you can attribute to that, or you may not? You're young and you're healthy.
No, I ordered some years ago. Yeah, it's still I have a little bit left. I have taken it on a couple different occasions when I felt something or I felt like I needed like an antibiotic or some kind of a booster because I didn't have health benefits at the time. So I couldn't tell you, but it seemed like it absolutely did the job. So I have full confidence in the product. I will, and I've recommended it. I've had other people get it. So yeah, I'm totally on board. And with this, the CDC, they are a for-profit business. It's a corporation. They're trying to make money. They have no
Yep.
interest if it's in cheap cures or something ivermectin. They can't make any money off of it. So it's all a big scam.
Well, they're allowing studies to be done with ivermectin now, and they allowed people who had quote unquote incurable cancer to take the ivermectin as a last ditch effort, and 85% were cancer free after so many months.
It's insane how well.
I got a letter from a woman whose mother, she was in her 80s, went to the hospital with COVID, and they were about to put her on remdesivir. So she called me. What can I do? I tried to give her the ivermectin, and the doctor won't let me give it to her. I said, will the doctor let you take her like chicken soup? She said, yeah, no problem. I said, crush up a couple tablets, put it in the chicken soup, and give it to her. She walked out of the hospital 2 days later, no remdesivir.
Thank God. And you know what? The people who you right there contributed more to this planet with what you're doing just by making these products available than these other pharma whore fuck faces.
Well, I appreciate
ever
that.
in
We've
their
tried to
entire
keep the price down with the recent India tariffs that my cost has doubled. I am not raising my prices. My mission is to save lives, not
Yeah.
make money.
Ivermectin stopped my pneumonia in 24 hours. I don't know how, because I think it works on viruses. I don't think it works on bacteria.
But it's an anti-inflammatory. And what happens is pneumococci, which we all have in us by the time we're 60, you've all got it in our lungs. It's anaerobic. It can't grow in your lungs until your lungs fill up with phlegm. Once they fill up with phlegm, pneumococci can bloom, and that's what kills you. You die of pneumonia. But it is a great anti-inflammatory. So that means the mucus goes away in your lungs. The pneumococci die of air because they can't breathe air, and you recover.
And yes, it does work for pets. You just have to be careful not to give them too much. So it's a weight-based dosage, and you can go a little over that. Like, for instance, I should be taking 1.5 pills, but the pills are tiny. Whenever I take it, I just take 2, 0 side effects. And I could probably take 4 a day and there would be 0 side effects.
Well, with dogs, you just like there's a couple ways to give it to them. One is you can buy the paste if it's hard to give them a pill, or they like. My dogs are smart. They know if they're getting like a piece of American cheese, they know there's a pill in it. So you got to switch it up to get them to eat it. Buy something else to stick in to get them to eat it.
Rosemary says she's had issues for almost a year. Will ivermectin clear this up? I don't know. We're not doctors and we can't give you medical advice, but you can try. And
that's what the Try Act is all about. The Try Act is about you having the right to try whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
To try to cure yourself.
Here in the state of Arkansas, they passed a law that you can try anything if your disease is not being cured. Anything.
Shark cartilage. Lucy had some success with shark cartilage. Wow. You never know. That's the thing. You never know. You will try 6. I would, if you have a tiny pup, I would do the weight chart thing and look for it.
Yeah, and I would get, if it's a pup, I would get the stuff from the like Tractor Supply that it's like an apple flavor, because it's easier for them to. It's easier. The thing is, you don't want to make your animals scared of taking medication, and a lot of times when they're young and you're shoving stuff down their throat, it makes it so they won't take stuff in the future. So if you can make it easy on them, put a little bit on a cracker or something, that's the best way to do it.
Yeah. So you guys, you can get it at brooksagnew.blog/gear, and I need to have all these things in my arsenal. So you may as well.
We're getting ready to add amoxicillin, zithromax, and cephalexin. I've had a lot of requests for people to get bacterial infections. As soon as it comes into our warehouse, I'll put it on the website. I'm not going to put it on my website until I have it in the warehouse.
Yeah. Hang on. It's 3:33 overseas. I have to send somebody a text. So. Oh, she was awake at 3:33 in the morning. Remember, guys, always send your texts at 11:11 or 3:33. Just chicks are into astrology. They dig that shit. So anyway. All right. So moving on.
Know that.
We haven't gotten to much news yet. The president scored a major victory this week because guess what? Mail-in ballots. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to do mail-in ballots in this election cycle. And this is really extraordinarily cool ruling by the Supreme Court, even though it's partial ruling. Let's listen to what the president had to say about it on Real America's Voice.
Because it's so hard to get the Senate to do anything, now they're on recess, they don't get anything done if they never get the Save America Act done. You have the right to declare a national security emergency for elections. And the Supreme Court ruled in 1983 under Reagan that INS versus Chadha, that if you declare a national security emergency as the President of the United States, they can't challenge it. It can only be overturned by a 2/3 vote of both houses of Congress. So if you do this in the next month, we will get photo ID, proof of citizenship, and a limit to mail-in ballots, and you don't even need the Senate vote.
Okay, I'll leave it at that.
All right.
Well, we didn't get much of President Trump there. I'm sorry, I did not scan that video. But the ruling was 6-3, again, along party lines. And the bottom line is that the United States Postal Service now has the right to and will actually apparently be monitoring the ballots. Let's go down to another video. This is when Trump actually signed it. But what? Let me share. Sorry, let me share. This is when President Trump actually signed the bill. Let's play that.
That's a big deal. Very proud of it. And I don't know how it can be challenged. You'll probably challenge it. You may say to find a rogue judge. You got a lot of rogue judges, very bad people, very bad judges. But that's the only way that can be changed. And hopefully we'll win an appeal if it is. But I don't see how anybody can challenge it. I don't see how. That's a big deal.
They did challenge it. They lost. They, of course, got some rogue judge to do it. But here's what this does. is only the United States Postal Service can send ballots on a list. They will have to, every state will have to provide a list of people that they're going to send mail-in ballots to. They're the only one that can send the ballots to those people on the list. They create, the DHS and the Social Security Administration are going to create an approved voter list, which means we're going to actually monitor the votes, right? We're actually going to monitor who's on the voter list, and the envelopes will have a unique tracking case. The full case will still be heard, but in the meantime, Trump can move forward. Brooks, what this means is they're running out of time. And frankly, the Supreme Court, I think, has got kind of a gun to their head. I don't see how they can rule against this.
No,
it
they can't rule
increases the
against
integrity of elections.
Well, the mail-in ballots are a risk. They are, because the post office handles, one ballot at a time from a person. The real risk are the drop box ballots. That's where a harvester can go out and collect a couple hundred ballots from street people or nursing homes. They can vote, fill them all out, sign them, and drop them in the drop box. And if that's not enough, they can print counterfeit ballots that don't even have envelopes and take them by the pallet load to the counting stations. That's what they do in California. They count for weeks after the election. Why? Because they're printing them. They're printing them pre-voted. What has to happen now with this victory, President Trump needs to come out and federally outlaw drop boxes. They need to gather them all up and send them to the scrapyard. No more drop box ballots. You have to take your ballots to the post office. And let me tell you, if you take an armload of ballots to the post office, they're going to arrest you.
All right. So do you think this is actually going to improve the integrity of the upcoming midterm elections?
It's a big step. It's a baby step, but it's a big baby step, because the real risk, as I said, are these after hours ballots that come in from another county, or sometimes they fly them in from another state. They flew in ballots to Pennsylvania that were printed in New York.
But couldn't the president put the National Guard or the military on site at all the voting stations and track every single one of these vehicles with flock cameras, by the way, with flock cameras, and know if they were flown in from out of state on a plane and stuff like that, and stop it? I think that's partially what they were able to do in 2024.
Yes, they could do it, but we identified the vans in Arizona. They were printing the ballots for Katie Hobbs. We caught the vans, we filmed them, we called 911, and the cops refused to pull the vans over. The vans just kept right on rolling.
What is the shelf life of ivermectin pills? I think it's about 3 years, is it not, Brooks?
How long will they last after you buy them?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, they're aged for 3 years, but they're hermetically sealed. They're good for.
I mean, the reality is that stuff was kind of made up by the prescription drug companies. This expiration date, they're still safe and effective.
It's like having aspirin expire.
Actually, if you research it, it was made up by the U.S. Army. The U.S. Army, had all of this medication, and they weren't giving it to the troops because it wasn't needed. And they wanted to know what to do with it. So somebody got the big idea, put an expiration date on it, and then you're allowed to throw it in the trash.
Yeah.
It's like having a bottle of aspirin in your house for 20 years. It's still good.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Quaaludes in Wolf of Wall Street, but they lose their they take a while to kick in, don't they? Perhaps? Or is that something different?
All the studies we've seen,
if you saw the movie.
Your viral load drops 90% in 8 hours.
Yeah. So, all right. So here's what the mail-in ballot procedure will do. The state provides a list of the ballots they intend to mail out. See, that is what they don't want to do, because you're going to find that 40, 50, 60% of the people on those voter lists are illegals or dead or not real. They're not legal voters.
We're in Pakistan.
Yep. When the ballot's mailed out, the barcode is scanned to ensure uniqueness and that it matches. If there's no match or it's a duplicate, it's not delivered. So the Postal Service now is going to be policing the voter process. There's a little more implication to this. Let's look at this is our friend of the show, Laura Ingram. I hope you're my friend, Laura. I've been on your show talking about the mail-in balloting win here.
The court's majority clearing the way for the administration to keep moving on the president's plan to regulate mail-in voting, including requiring the Postal Service to deliver ballots only to voters deemed eligible. And remember, Democrats from 23 states had sued in D.C., had sued to stop the president. But today, the Supreme Court lifted an injunction and said that those states, they essentially didn't have the legal standing to bring the challenge. President Trump is not anti-mail-in ballots, by the way, per se, but he is against abusing the process, and he believes that only people who are truly eligible to vote should be getting the ballots. And frankly, having all those ballot applications mailed to them makes sense. Here with more insight is Mike Davis, Article 3 Project President and former clerk to Justice Gorsuch. Mike, so the Supreme Court, and it was an unsigned order, right? But they essentially said that they expect further challenges. They're not ruling on the underlying merits of the case. But why is this still significant at this juncture?
President Trump ordered his Postal Service, his Attorney General, his Secretary of Homeland Security to work together to make sure that states are only using our Postal Service to mail ballots to lawful voters and not to illegal aliens and other unlawful voters. And there was an Obama judge in Boston, this left-wing radical judge.
Indira Tawani.
Couldn't do that.
Yeah, Indira Tawani
Yes,
was the district court judge. Obama appointed.
She's a radical, and she's president. She said President Trump couldn't do that. The First Circuit agreed. The Supreme Court correctly said that yes, the president can move forward, and this is preliminary. If there is injury to real parties down the road, then they can bring a lawsuit. But the states are not injured here.
Now, Mike, do you think that there is enough time for the administration to implement these regs? Because some of the mail-in ballots may have already gone out, or they're about to go out. Tell us about that.
I mean, the president is going to move fast. And I would just say this, why are the Democrats so scared to have accountability with our elections? Why are they so scared to make sure that the Postal Service is not committing mail fraud by mailing ballots to illegal aliens and other illegal voters?
It would shock you to know, Mike, by the way, that Ketanji Brown Jackson issued a blistering dissent to this order, essentially saying this is all Kafkaesque and this must be stopped. But Mike, we'll have to say that.
We was wrong to do this, is what I'm sure her blistering consisted of. So
she can't speak well enough to be blistering.
No, exactly. She's too stupid. So, okay, here's the thing. They're rushing desperately to get the mail-in ballots sent out now. It's August. The election's not till November. You should get your ballot, I don't know, a week or two before the actual election if you're voting absentee. They're doing this because they're desperately trying to get out before they have to comply with these regulations, are they not?
Well, we still have primaries going on. They won't even know who's on the ballot until after Labor Day.
Right.
That's when the election officially starts. So the president has plenty of time to do this, believe me.
Well, see, and the other problem that we have is it goes back to Trump, acting like a coward when it comes to prosecuting people that are caught in the act of violating election law. They had a situation in Michigan where this lady had supposedly donated $150,000 to this commie Muslim, and that's running for, I think, Senate. So the reporters actually went out to her house, which had burnt down. She was living in squalor in this little trailer, and the reporter ended up loaning her money to have somebody come out and cut the weeds so she could get back and forth to her trailer. Yet on the books, it said she donated $150,000 to this guy's campaign, and he called the feds and he called all these different people. They weren't interested.
All right, Blake. We had some other issues, which is, again, as Brooks mentioned, we had some primaries today. Decision Desk HQ, which is Democrat leaning, has now predicted that Darlene Graham, the sister of Lindsey Graham, will be the Republican in the U.S. Senate race coming up in November. I believe, yeah, it's in November. I don't like Lindsey Graham, and I don't want another woman senator, and I don't want another woman senator that votes the way Lindsey Graham voted and does the things Lindsey Graham did. So, Blake, I mean, do you think this is okay? It's like, it's not the family seat. This is not House Graham versus House Lannister. You know, you don't get to have a Senate seat assigned to one particular fucking family. But South Carolina is Republican, and they're going to vote for the Republican. So, I don't think this is good of Trump to be doing this. I think he should have found someone who was super uber MAGA to put in that seat. But what do you think the impact is going to be in the fall of not only the mail-in ballot ruling, but is this something we should be doing?
No, I disagree. Yeah, I agree with you. That should not be a thing. Maybe on like a very temporary basis in an emergency after he just passed ceremonially. Oh, it's nice. We're going to let his sister take over and vote on his behalf on what he would do if he was there. That, borderline, okay, we'll let it go. But to actually run and they elected her, that's pretty crazy. So now she's just going to be.
I mean, anybody on this panel is more qualified to be a U.S. senator than this woman is. For all we know, right. She watches ice skating and reads 50 Shades of Grey. We don't know if she knows anything about politics, but now she's a fucking U.S. senator. Mr. President, what the hell are you doing? Sorry.
No, you're great. It's like a monarchy, it's just like a puppet, a politician. Yeah. It's a joke now. They're all social media influencers, and now they're just going to get they're just going to get the family to vote. Then we're never going to vote these people out. But I don't know. But they voted for her. I don't get it. I don't know why they kept electing Lindsey Graham to begin with. He was an interesting character, but he had a terrible voting record. So no, I'm not on board with this. I'm disappointed with a lot of it. Yeah, we got a lot of mess, a lot of issues with the other voting system. Hopefully they can clean something up because
Lee says, okay, so Lee says the other person was a Nikki Haley supporter, anti-Trump. That's fine. It's still the lesser of two evils because I would like to see an open contest in South Carolina. And why didn't the governor appoint somebody who was really qualified? Steve, does this strike you as again a line of succession along family bloodlines kind of thing? I mean, is this the Lindsey Graham seat in the Senate for the foreseeable future or what?
Well, it doesn't surprise me. Look at the Kennedys. When what's his name, Teddy Kennedy died, they were like, what Kennedy is going to take the Kennedy seat? It's their seat in government. And so some guy came along and said, it's not their seat. Anybody can run for that position. It does not have to be a Kennedy or a relative of the Kennedys. And the guy ended up winning. And that's the way that it should be. Nobody should have a seat, but everybody is going to try to stack the deck when they're in power to their benefit. So obviously he's had a conversation with her. He's told her what he wants done. And she's agreed to do it. Now, just like that, Supreme Court justice, who's a female, she may turn on him and not do what he wants. So, that's the risk you take. It's like they get these people that are supposedly MAGA, that are supposedly for the United States of America. They take an oath to support the Constitution. And as soon as they get in office, all that goes right out the window.
Yes, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned.
Well, I get tired of it. I mean, it's like, where are the, we have hardly any men left in this country. It's not that I'm against women serving in government, but where are the men? Why aren't any men running? Why aren't people, they say they're concerned with this country. They say that they want to help this country, and yet none of them run for office, and everything's being done by women. It's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that to be condescending, but where are the men? Why aren't you stepping up? Why aren't you showing or trying to think of the word, but basically exercising your responsibility to protect the United States of America, and yet none of you run. You want the women to take the responsibility.
No, I don't. And this brings up the toxically masculine side of this show today, because a guy named Enes Kanter Freedom, who is a NBA player, decided he wanted to play in the WNBA and went to a game, and it caused quite a stir in the WNBA. And we have some more women's stuff, but this is let's take a look at this interview with this guy. He basically just went to the game and wanted to play. He said, I want to play in the WNBA.
So this is pretty interesting. Enes Kanter Freedom joins us now. Good to have you on. You got your shirt on. You're ready to join the league. Let's just talk about this. Let's be frank here. The WNBA has no clue what to do here, and they're making a really, really big decision that they don't know how to make. And they just want all of this to go away. And you're not letting that happen.
So back in May, I was watching the WNBA, one of the WNBA games, because I'm actually a huge fan of the game. And right after the game, right, I'm on my social media and I'm just like scrolling. And I saw this, one of the players, one of the WNBA players was actually saying that I have no problem having a trans athlete in my team or against my team, right?
Yeah.
So then I'm like, okay, then right after that, I start to look at the collective bargaining. And Article 13, Section 1 says only women are allowed to play in the WNBAs, but they don't identify what a woman is. So I'm like, you know what? I'm in.
You're in. Why not? And here's the frank truth is that they don't want men in this league. It would decimate the league. You and Royce White would destroy this league, and everybody knows that. But they also, at the same time, they can't possibly be viewed as unaccepting or intolerant or anti-woke or anti-transgenderism. They are in the biggest conundrum they could possibly have, because they have no idea what to do. What do you think they're going to do? Because you're not letting this go.
I am not going to let this go because, listen, they are the one putting these rules, and I'm just following the rules. If they ever come out and actually change the rule and said only biological female can play in this league, or like a born female can, then I'm like, I'm fine. Listen, I'm not a troublemaker. I'm a peacemaker. So if they come out and change the rule, I'm all fine. I will drop everything immediately, But these are the rules that they put, and I'm just following their rules. If you identify as a female, which I am, you're allowed to play in this league.
Okay, so he basically, I love this. He called their bluff, and I absolutely fucking love that. And a lot of people have talked about, look, a lot of the players in the WNBA. This is Caitlin Clark, one of the big stars in the WNBA. And I'm sorry, that's a dude. That's a
no, it's not.
Yeah, dude. That's a dude. So I mean, I think it's absolutely awesome that this guy is calling their bluff. Don't you, Blake? Think this is cool that their bluff is getting called?
Oh, it's hilarious. I think it's even better when Royce White really gets into it and pulls it up. He's the other WNBA guy. He ran for Senate seat. He lost to Michelle Tafoya, but he's been making the liberals go crazy. He's been on CNN, whatever, calling them out. So I think it's hilarious. And so, but I think you're right. There are already transgenders in the sport, so they can't define it.
Oh,
so
Brittany
they would
Grenier is a
right.
man.
That very well could be. There certainly would give them a competitive edge, and by defining that, it's bizarre watching them, twist themselves into pretzels, trying to not identify what a woman is when it's just basic biology. So it's been refreshing to see the absurdity pulled to the front here and make a spectacle of it because it deserves it.
Steve, I agree with Blake 100%. What do you think of what he just said? I mean, isn't this what we have to do now? Call this shit out when it happens?
Well, I believe so. I mean, the reality is, I agree with Blake 100%. And the reality is that, these women, including Caitlin Clark, by the way, played men's sports. Caitlin Clark was a kicker for the male football team at her high school.
Yeah.
And she screamed and yelled and jumped up and down to be able to play high school football with the boys. So if they're going to say that all you have to do is identify as a woman, then every time they do that, men should literally line up at the door, saying, I want to play.
And it should be the same thing in politics, shouldn't it, Brooks?
Well, I was going to say, if I was Caitlin Clark, I wouldn't take another elbow to the face. She is a world-class golfer. I think she should quit the league and become a professional golfer, and the entire league will tank.
But there's
She's
even
the
more,
one filling the stadiums.
There's even more lesbians in golf than there is in basketball. So I just got to say, I think if you want to watch girls play basketball, you're a masochist, because it's like watching 11-year-old boys in slow motion. I mean, come on. There's probably an 11-year-old boys all-star team could beat any WNBA team.
I watched the Fever play. I watched the Fever play. They're good. They play. They score 100 points a game. Yeah, they're playing against girls, but they're still good. They're still good ball players.
I'm rooting for this guy. I think if I was him, I don't know who he is. I guess he's just an average NBA guy, but I'd love to see him out there and score 100. I mean, Wilt Chamberlain once scored 100 points in a game. Wilt was 7'3" playing, or 7'1" maybe, playing against like 6'5" slow, fat white guys, and scored 100 points one night. And it would be the same damn thing. Now that is a WNBA game I would watch. So WNBA, if you want your ratings to go up, let this guy play a few games, and people will tune in to watch it.
The reality is, I have like nothing against women's sports. I mean, I think they should have women's sports,
their own sports. Yeah, agree.
It's good. It's good for them to get out. It's good for them to, get out from in front of the television, get on the field, play sports, exercise, get in, do all the things that young men used to do that they don't anymore, but they used to do. And, I'm all for it. And men shouldn't go in and corrupt their games. No. But I'm also the other way, where I don't care if the girl's the best goal kicker on the planet. She needs to stay out of the boys' sports. There's a reason that we have male and female sporting events, and they're different. And if they want to play football, start your own football team.
There is a lingerie football league out there for you ladies. If you'd like to play tackle American football, that is something you can do. So,
I like women's beach volleyball.
I enjoy that also, especially the French team, because they are the all booty team when they come to play some beach volleyball. Let me tell you, they used to have that down when I lived in Redondo Beach down at Hermosa. They had tournaments came through twice a year. That was fun. That was fun. Did you? Yeah, I forgot this. I'd have to go find the video. But did you know that now in Europe they're now telling them that they can't show the girls' asses that play sports like track, field, volleyball. Yeah. So they have to. So the camera guys are still trying to get a shot of their ass before. Look, I hate this. The only reason men tune in to watch your sport is to look at the girls' asses. What is wrong with you people? I mean, and the girls.
That's a beautiful pole vaulters, man.
The girls are out there trying to show off their booties because of the clothes that they wear. They're going out of their way, and we're denying them their right to have their booty admired by millions and millions of men. What the hell is this world coming to? Well, I'll tell you what it's coming to. It's coming to the point that the feminazis are now cheering for a woman who murdered her children.
Oh, wow.
Watch what this insanity is coming to. Here is a debate about the issue with Lindsay Clancy, who murdered her 3 kids.
They should be commended
because they did. I've had it with you.
Oh my God!
And
they should be commended. They didn't
and
kill their children. She's a murderer. These women are cheering. These are man-hating women that are standing outside. This is what it's about. They think the husband did it. They're crazy. They've lost their mind.
Do you know why they're
waving for a murderer?
Do you know why the woman is in a wheelchair? Did you even notice that she's
couldn't care less. She's a murderer.
Because she jumped out the window after this happened.
So she should have. I'd have pushed her. They say that Lindsay was in psychosis. I think these women are suffering from psychosis. They've been watching too many true crime Netflix dramas. Yeah. This was an incredibly privileged woman, incredibly wealthy. She had a nanny, and she's still complaining that she needed help. She could not have got more help from the system that she already have received. This is a murderer who strangled her children one by one. One of the boys ran away and she chased him down and killed him.
Laurie Watkins.
What you just said was absolutely disgusting.
Thank
and
you.
you should be ashamed of yourself.
you. It
And you
is
can hear that
disgusting.
he's not. Okay.
Why is this true?
You clearly don't care, so pipe down.
I don't care. And by the way, men watching this, if you have
He
a woman
doesn't
sat next
care.
to you on the sofa who is defending this murderer, you got to think deeply
No
about
one's
this. I've seen
defending.
weddings.
So
of
we
people
need to
who
have
talk
some
about this.
empathy with-
Talk to your women and
There's a
find out
difference.
what are they thinking. They're defending this woman. It's
I don't think
insane.
anybody's defending what she did, but you can have empathy for what she
Nobody
went
is.
through and how she.
I know many women that this has happened to. No, they did not kill their children, but they also, what you failed to
Well,
mention.
they should be commended
quiet,
because they did.
please. I've had it with you.
Oh my God! They
And
should be
your
commended. They
sexism
didn't
and
kill their
misogyny.
children. Lisa, she's a murderer.
I can't.
What's hearing?
I'm done.
I'm
They should be
I
I'm
just
amazed.
have one question.
I'm
Why
amazed
didn't she jump out the window before
Or
she tried
she
to murder
murdered
the kids?
her children. So the background on this story is that she waited for her husband to leave the house, and then she strangled her 3 children with
And she just told the nanny to go home.
yeah. So
She
it was
dismissed
an
the
act,
nanny and told her husband to go get food. She
it was
told
an
them to
act
both
of,
leave.
yeah, it was an act of premeditated murder to murder this man's children, and she claims it was postpartum depression, like 2-3 years past after she had the last kid, which is absolutely ludicrous. And there are millions of women who are unbelievably, they are defending her, including Blake Wally's favorite girlfriend, Candace Owens. Candace, let's hear what Candace-
No.
I made my thoughts clear on this the moment that she was arrested, the moment that it made the news. Lindsay Clancy is obviously not guilty. There are a fleet of doctors who should be imprisoned for what they put her on. I regularly speak out against Big Pharma. They get away with murder all the time. And in this case, they are getting away with the murder of really her 3 children, but also completely destroyed her life. When Lindsay Clancy, in my opinion, is not guilty. She was put into an intentional psychosis when she probably just needed to give her kids away for a weekend to get better, but they constantly give you these drugs that do not make things better. And the cocktail of 10 pharmaceuticals that she was on is absolute madness. Absolute madness.
Okay, so Candace, Blake, seriously,
Yeah.
is there any woman alive who will take responsibility for her own actions? And everyone, I think why the women are defending her is exactly that, is because this is the ultimate test. Do you take responsibility for your own actions? Do you have repercussions for your behavior? And that's what these crazy feminazis are fighting for. They want women to be able to not be held responsible for the shit that they do. Come on, defend Candace to me.
I will defend her on many things. This is not one of them. This is a bad take. I haven't really been up to date on this. I usually stay away from these kinds of stories. I didn't know all the details. I don't know what the hell she was on. I've done my share of drugs. I can't imagine losing my mind like that. I think probably out of all the drugs ever, alcohol is probably the one where you can black out, lose your mind, do terrible things. As I'm sitting in the bar.
And by the way, this is also a valid point. If women really thought he killed the kids, the women would be going after him. So yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I don't know how they're trying to spin this. This is really bizarre to me without knowing further. I don't know what kind of cocktail of drugs this is on, if this is normal, but I will not defend Candace in this instance by any means. This is,
I kind of put you on the spot there.
That's all right. No,
Steve,
I like it.
I'm sure you have an opinion about Lindsay Clancy. Let's hear it.
Well, first of all, it was definitely premeditated murder. This is not, psychosis and, postpartum depression 3 years after she's had a child. She murdered those children. I'm getting upset right now. She murdered those children in the worst possible way. The detectives who went in were sickened by it. And she murdered the first child. The other 2 had to watch her murder the first child. Then the third child had to watch her murder the first and second child. And then she chased him the last one, to murder him. I mean, it was the most horrific situation you can imagine. And strangulation takes a long time, by the way. It's not like the movies where they hold your throat for 30 seconds and you're dead. It takes it's an agonizing process. And she is so freaking evil that she was able to do it to 3 babies and literally, have no remorse about it whatsoever. The only reason she jumped out that window was because after she did it, she was thinking, oh, I'm probably going to go to prison for this. Or I don't think Maryland has the death penalty, but I could get the death penalty, whatever the case may be. But you've got to be one evil. I mean, I know plenty of
pure evil.
I know plenty of people who are extremely mentally ill, and they would literally cut your throat in a heartbeat, but they would never, ever harm a child. So to say that she's on some cocktail that, made her want to kill the children, especially when she's wealthy. Her husband did everything he possibly could to help her. She had nannies, and she sent them away so that she could murder these 3 innocent babies. She deserves not only to be given the death penalty, but I hope she burns in hell the rest of her life.
Yeah, well, she deserves to be skinned alive in 1-inch strips, as far as I'm concerned. Brooks, is this just another sign of the total deterioration of our
culture? And it's right on the heels of signing legislation that allows you to kill your babies right up until the moment they're born.
Exactly.
The fact is, women have killed way more people, way more humans than all the tyrants and all the warlords in history since Roe v. Wade. They have murdered more humans than any other. In fact, if you consider abortion as a cause of death, it is by far the number 1 cause of death.
And look at those women in the courtroom laughing during the murder trial of 3 babies, and they're freaking laughing.
Yeah, it's
what kind of sick, perverted, screwed up individual laughs when evidence is being presented on a baby who's just been murdered. You got to be one sick, deranged individual.
And let me just say this. This is Toxically Masculine Tuesday. And let me just say this. If your girlfriend or wife supports Lindsay Clancy in any way, or
dump her
for her, dump the bitch now, because she is soulless.
Yep.
She's an empty vessel controlled by Satan if she supports this witch.
Well, look at all the people that have committed not even crimes that are even this close to being this hideous, that literally are locked away from society, even though they're, officially mentally ill, were deemed mentally ill. They will never, ever, ever, ever get out of prison for what they did. So they're trying to say, because she's a woman, because she was on medication, because she had some kind of postpartum depression or whatever the hell, that she deserves a pass where other people have been locked up till the day they die for things that are far less hideous than what she did.
Yeah, there are.
Irregardless, even if she was completely, and they could prove to me she was absolutely insane, I'd say my opinion would be she has to be locked up for the safety of the children in this nation, because if she'd do it then, she'll do it again.
Yeah, well, I just think it's a sign of the lack of moral clarity in our country in the last 60 years, most of which is promulgated by liberals. It's the difference between Star Trek and Star Trek: The Next Generation. Star Trek: The Next Generation, they would be all over defending Lindsay Clancy, whereas Kirk would have just phasered her into non-existence. All right, guys.
The other thing, like I said, I want to go back to this because I'm telling you, I'm really irritated. Everybody who's listening to this show tonight, watch the women that are sitting in the courtroom that are backing her up, and watch when they present the evidence of these children being murdered, and watch those freaking C words laugh in the courtroom and wink at each other and laugh and giggle when they're presenting that evidence. And you tell me these aren't the sickest people on the planet.
Yeah, there is this sickness where because a man, the feminists are pushing, the Democrats, the feminists are pushing, because a man gave you these children, you get to kill them. And you should kill them because they came from a man. That's really what this comes down to. And that's why it's a toxically masculine issue. So I hate to say re-education, but I think we seriously need some re-education camps after the revolution, because this twisted sickness.
All right, well, listen to what one of the women said. I'm going to read this to you. This is what one of the women interviewed said. If you only kill your biological children and no one else, you should get a medal.
Oh,
it is best to delete genes for murder and mental illness whenever possible. People who do this are giving society a gift at great personal cost. These are the women supporting that freaking lady.
Oh my God.
You should get a medal for murdering your children.
I think they should get some medal.
I think the lady
going about 500 feet.
Yeah, 30-06.
I think the lady who made that statement should be locked up.
Yeah, and
the key thrown away.
So, guys, unfortunately, all we do is we cast a light on the problem. I don't have a solution. I don't have a solution.
I have a solution. It involves lead and gunpowder.
Yeah.
That's the medal she should get.
I hate to end on a down note, but there is something, seriously wrong with our culture at this point. I remember in 1992, and I'm going to end with this, when Pat Buchanan was running for president. And he was basically America First MAGA in many ways. And I pretty much agree with everything Pat Buchanan said back then. And of course, he was characterized as a racist, sexist, nuclear bomb throwing maniac. And he was not. And I remember in a debate, somebody asked him a question in the audience and talked about, birth control, and he was a Catholic and he was going to force women, to have babies and some sort of Handmaid's Tale thing. And he said, look, lady, I don't care what you think. I'm telling you that a society that hands out condoms to 14-year-old girls is sick. And I believe that statement was correct in 1992, and I think it's correct now. And I think we need a deep, powerful, spiritual, and moral rebirth in this country, or we're not going to be able to save it. So on that note, I hate to end it on a downer, but everybody have a good week. Hopefully we got better news next week. Things get better. Love you. Thank you. I'll be back tomorrow with Susan on Tell the Truth Wednesday. Stay masculine and, watch the way your women, watch what they watch on TV, watch what they say, watch how they treat little animals, watch how they treat other people's children before you mate with them. It's very important. All right. Bye-bye, guys. Have a good one.